Hey everybody, what's up and welcome back. You're here with me, Shapeless, aka the Game Tamer, and today we're going over the new hero in Gigantic, the card-slinging, mischief-making man, Oru. As you can see, he's actually a caster. Minimal defense, minimal mobility, high damage though. I think he has almost the highest damage for a caster. But he has more utility than I believe Mozu. No, actually, no. Wow. But, let's find out what he's all about. Laying out some trap cards.
So far.
Okay. His voice is much less cartoony than I anticipated. Let's get into the abilities. Left click. Throw judgment card at target enemy. On hit inflicts judgment and burning. 30 damage per second. For 3 seconds. Okay. You have deal plus 25% upfront damage if target already has judgment on them, which is pretty good. And then we have when judgment is freshly applied, cosmic power's cooldown is reduced by ½ second. Okay. From there we can go when judgment is freshly applied, deal splash damage to nearby targets. Okay. 90 splash damage to be exact. And or you can go speed dealer, which is when judgment is freshly applied, you get 1 second off of your cosmic power cooldown, which is your E, I believe. For judge and jury, we have if the target has already has judgment, the beast cooldown is reduced by 1 second, or deals plus 50% upfront damage if target already has judgment. Okay. Well, what's the cooldown on the beast? 9 seconds, so you'd be like 6, 4. Okay. Okay, so that's definitely pretty good. How much damage do these do? This is your left click card. They're homing cards. They do about 76. And 42 is the beast card. So that's that. For the right click with the beast, we have at close range also pushes away enemies, which is really good for him because he doesn't have a whole lot of mobility, so getting that little extra like nudge is pretty good. If you have open ranges, then the spread is also really good, which is you throw 2 more cards at a wider angle, so you kind of have like a shotgun effect. You can go from here, you can go Ace of Cups, which now inflicts weakness to negative 25% damage for 3 seconds on hit for the beast, which is actually pretty good considering you can take the ability, which I would recommend, and use it to go through multiple people. Or you can have Ace of Swords, which makes it so that you can apply bleeding to multiple people, which is also really nice. Which, for the damage aspect, I honestly feel like Ace of Swords is probably the way to go. If you wanted to go the CC route, you can go Jacked, which is at close range. You can now cripple people, which further reduces speed and makes it so they can't jump as high. Or at close range, you can push them even further, and kind of use that as a like a skate tool or like a push-off tool. But on to the next one. For your Q, we have you can now place cards at a distance, or when triggered, now launches enemies. This is your Q. So that just lays 3 cards in front of you, pretty close. I'm not okay, so they don't stay indefinitely, but okay, so you can now place them at a distance. We have Ace in the Hole, which is trap is instantly armed and deals twice as much damage, which is up to 300. But it no longer pushes enemies when triggered. Or when triggered also inflicts judgment. So you also make it so that they have burns. It's pretty good. You could pair off of your left click for, like, you know, reducing beast or... Well, I mean, I don't know. Because, I mean, I don't know if that would affect Cosmic. I think it would. Or we have when triggered launches enemies, which is when triggered, E Cosmic Power cooldown is reset. That's actually not bad. It also gives you usage for your utility. I mean, I can't imagine that they get, like, activated super late. Let me just try to activate it right on top of somebody. Yeah, they're activated pretty quickly, and I mean, being able to reduce the cooldown of your E fairly often, because I mean, like, I queued pretty decent amount of time, so I mean, like, you could like left click, right click, E, Q, E, which might be a lot of burst damage, but we'd have to test all that out. Alright. Or we have it also applies Beast when triggered, which isn't too bad. I believe Beast is a slow. Yes. Toss a spread of 3 card Beast cards, which on hit inflict the Beast and slows. So we have our E now, which is Cosmic Power, which is damages target area and reveals cards held by enemies. If they have Judgment, you get 250 damage, and if they have the Beast, you daze them for a second. That's not bad. Revealing Judgment cracks armor, or revealing the Beast now inflicts a stun. A half-second stun. Okay. Revealing Judgment also hits nearby enemies. Oh, that's pretty cool. Or Revealing Judgment breaks armor. This is really good for tanks. This is definitely the meta choice for tanks. Or against tanks. And like heavy stat comps. Revealing the Beast now inflicts stun. Okay, then we have Curse. Which I do believe Curse is no healing. Or it's I can't remember what exactly Curse does. Or you can increase the stun duration to 1 second, which is probably not bad. Because dazing's nice, but if you really want to like sit somebody down, then stunning them's probably the way to go. So if you're going just like a damage route, I think that going Starblind would be the best way to go. Now we have your upgrades. Cut the deck. The Beast now pierces through enemies. That's actually pretty good. The Joker's duration is increased, which is your trap cards. Or Cosmic Power's target area is increased by 50%. That's not bad either. I think that having cut the deck would be the meta choice here, because it afflicts Beast to multiple targets, and it can slow more than just the people you hit. Now for the ultimate. Rapidly toss death cards. Once completed, reveal all cards dealt. Deals 400 damage and plus 200, 400, then 800 if targets below 50% health. So it's like an execution almost. Like that's a lot of damage. We can have it so that Expert Shuffler makes it so that you perform your left click faster, 15% faster. You can have increased stamina and also lose debuffs when dodging, or move 10% faster. Sprinting drains stamina 25% slower. That's not too bad because he doesn't have a whole lot of mobility. Or we have on the damage side, Fortunate Focus. Successfully revealing Judgment or the Beast cards give additional focus. That's pretty good because getting your Death Dealer is really strong. Or the card durations are increased by 1 second for each of them. I would honestly say that the meta choice is probably going Fortunate Focus if you don't have to worry too much about mobility. And if you have to worry about mobility, I would definitely probably say Easy Strider. But I still think that Expert Shuffler into Fortunate Focus is still stronger because getting to Death Dealer is really good for him. But if you haven't noticed from me just like, you know, doing a little bit, I haven't gotten a whole lot of focus. So it's relatively difficult to get focus on this guy. Overall, I feel like he's not necessarily going to be in the meta, but will be an interesting pick to be picked into things. Just because I feel like Mozu does a decent amount of what he does, but does him a little bit better. But we'll see. We'll skip to a damage build that I was testing around with earlier and see what we can figure out. But for right now, we're going into the next part. Alrighty, and here we are into our damage portion of this little excursion with Oru, where we have Cut the Deck, which makes the Beast pierce through enemies. We have Starstruck into Starblind, which makes it so that revealing the beast now inflicts a stun. We have Ace in the Hole, which traps our instantly armed and deal twice as much damage. They're no longer push and can be placed at a distance. The beast is now thrown with 2 extra cards at a wider angle and inflicts a bleed. And we have Judge and Jury, which deals an additional plus 25% upfront damage for your left mouse click if you're continuously reapplying. And Short Sentence, which if the target already has Judgment on them, the beast cooldown is reduced by a second each, which makes it so that you can actually almost reapply the bleed before it even falls off, if you're not really like weaving in other abilities. So, and then we have Death Dealer going Expert Shuffler to perform Judgments faster, and Fortunate Focus, which successfully revealing Judgment and the Beast cards give additional focus. So let's see how exactly this will go. You can queue from a really long distance, so you can probably just queue and then just go this way, reveal cards. Halting. He's actually really slippery during that, because I'm pretty sure he can actually like go to different like areas just by doing that. There's the stun. Here's more damage. But as you can see, the E's not up like a whole lot. Oh. Let's go ahead and build up our stuff again. Actually, the homing of the cards really makes it pretty nice, because it makes it so that you can stack really easily. But let's go ahead and rebuild on the big guy once we get him. Okay. So, drop Q. Reapply. E. Oh. Let's go ahead and see if we can drop him below 50% health barely. That actually wasn't a whole lot of damage, but it was a pretty decent amount. And you also have a burn and a bleed on them. So his sustained damage is actually pretty high, even though he doesn't do a lot of like upfront damage. Cool, that actually wasn't too bad. Like, as you can see, he still does good damage. Let's see how much damage the bleeds and dots can do. I mean, that was actually pretty good. Alright. Let's see if I can hit multiple targets with my, Actually, let's see how much damage we can do with a 2-focus ultimate. So, let's go ahead and skirt our little Oru dude over here. Forgot I get more focus if I E multiple cards. He's new, man. Okay. Now we have a 2-focus. Alright. Let's see here. Alright. So. Stop spitting at me. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. So. Alright, well, that didn't work. That is actually a significant amount more damage. Holy crap. So the rank 2 all being able to do the extra 400 is actually exponentially better. Homing attack cards. Alright, let's go ahead and see what kind of stuff we can do. Okay, so like... throw the fade away. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he does have pretty solid damage. I think that his damage actually is easier to do than Mozu's, for the strict purpose of most of his things have a very wide range. He has dots, and his left mouse click also is homing, so he doesn't really have to worry too much about that. Honestly, the hardest thing to manage to like drop for him is his little cards there. But like, a usually 9-second cooldown can be brought down to an abysmally low one, and you're constantly doing burning damage while reapplying the burn. And you also have a bleed going. So honestly, I would honestly say he's a very good character. He's not like broken by any means, but he is very good in my opinion. Okay, so that's weird. That's an interesting interaction that you can do, because you still have to actually aim it. So that's still pretty interesting. But anyways, guys, that's it for me this time. That's it for Oru, our card slinging fun mischief maker. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to like, comment, and sub if you haven't done that already. My usual way to go about that. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, guys, thank you for all this love and support, and I will see you again soon. Hopefully you enjoyed. Later on. Stay tame.